Hi guys, I'm Anita and I'm back with another video. Today I want to share with you my June TBR because we are late and it's already June and I can't believe it. Anyway, I have quite a few plans for June. It's not Booktube this time, but I'm participating in 2 readathons and they both had a bunch of prompts and I decided to take part in that, and so I don't really have room for my Booktube. So I'll skip it for a month and then get back to it in July, I think. Yeah, so the first readathon that I'm participating in is the Categorically romance readathon. That was difficult to say. Which takes place from the 5th of June until the 10th of June. I think that's what I wrote down. This is hosted by Sarah from The Bookish Knitter, as well as Bree from Bree Reads Books, who's on Instagram. And they have this podcast called Categorically Romance podcast, and so it's in relation to that. And I have wanted to read a lot more category romances for a long time, so I decided I wanted to take part. There's something about this that I feel like it was a 2-week-long readathon, so maybe I wrote down the dates wrong. I will leave a link to Sarah's video down below so you can go check out for yourself to find out what prompts it is, the time and everything, so that you don't get as confused as I am right now. Anyway, my plans is to try and hit off and read for all 5 prompts. There are 5 prompts and I want them all to be ebooks, which is a challenge if it's like only a week. Because that's not what I consider. And I also want to read 1 book from a different line because I don't know the Harlequin or the category romances well enough, and so I thought this was a good opportunity to try and explore some of the publishing lines that Harlequin has that I haven't checked out yet. So there are 5 prompts for this. The first prompt is read a 2021 release, and it's pretty easy finding a book by Harlequin to read, like a Harlequin book to read, because they release so many books every month. I think each line has at least 4 books coming out every month. Some has 6, and there are currently, I think, 8 ongoing lines, including the Love Inspired, I think. So there's a lot of books coming out each month. So yeah, I went with one that I saw from Shannon Riddler's channel recently. She has been subscribing to the Harlequin historical line and gets like, I think she got 4 new books every month or something like that, or maybe she got 2 new books or something. I'm a little unsure, I forgot. But she hauled Kidnapped by the Viking by Caitlin Cruz, which is part of the Harlequin historical, and it's a Viking romance. I've never read a Viking romance before, so I wanted to try it out, and I actually got really intrigued about this when I heard about it, and as well as it's also a standalone, so I don't feel obligated to continue if I have to. So I think that was a good one. I think it came out in May, so it's definitely working for this. And then the next one was an own voices book, so that could be cultural related, it could be mental health related, sexuality related and stuff like that. But in this case I chose History Project by Sharon C. Cooper, which is part of the romantic suspense line, and that's why I think I picked it, because romantic suspense is something I tend to enjoy, and so I wanted to check it out. And this is written by a Black author. And then the third prompt was read a book that was published before the 2000s, and this was a little bit difficult. I sort of wanted to read Nora Roberts' books because she read category romances in the beginning, but they were all so expensive that I didn't want to buy them. They were like $11 each, and I was not really there for that because I don't even think I would be that interested in her very old stuff. But I was curious, but not curious enough apparently. So I ended up going with one that I think sounded pretty cool, and it's called The Second Mrs. Adams, which is by Sandra Martin. I think that's what I wrote down. It was published in 1996, and it is part of the Harlequin Present. And if you think about Harlequin books, this is the cover design that you think about first and foremost. I think that's the one that I remembered from like back in the day, as seeing these white covers with the circle with a picture in it. So I decided to go with that and try it out, and yeah. The fourth prompt was to read a book from an imprint that's no longer being published. So there's a lot of lines that has been discontinued, and yeah, so this was a no-brainer for me, because there's only one line that I would have wished that was still a part of it, or like there was some sort of line similar to this, and that's the Nocturne line, which is a paranormal romance and an urban fantasy line. So I decided to go with Lord of the Vampires by Gina Showalter. I also know Gina Showalter because I've read a couple of books by her before, so I'm really curious about her in this series. This is a series, I think, of 4 or 5 books, and it's written by a different author with every book in that series, but I decided to go with this one because it's the first in the series. And the fifth and final prompt for the Categorically Romance Readathon was read a book with a summary cover. And when I think about summer covers, I thought that immediately I need to check out the Heartwarming lines, because if I remember correctly, all of those always seem to have summary covers. I don't know if it's their like small town settings or something like that, or what it is about it, but they always have these very bright covers. And so I ended up going with one that is recently published. I think it's called A Soldier Saved by Cheryl Harper, which is the first in the series, and it's set in a small town. It follows some, I think it follows some nurse. No, I'm not sure. I forgot what it's about, but it has like these 2 people on a beach, I believe. I believe there's like water in the background, so I thought it was summery enough. Yeah, so those are the 5 books that I'll be reading for this readathon, and as I said, there will be links below to the readathon so you can check it out for yourself. The other readathon that I'm participating in June is the Translateathon. I've participated in each and every single round that's been up for this. Last time was very unsuccessful because it was in the middle of me moving. But this time I'm hoping to make a lot better. There are 5 prompts for this one, and this readathon takes place from the 14th to the 27th. And it is hosted by Rhea from the Bookfinch, who is one of my Booktube friends. I will leave a link to their announcement video down below so you can check it out and see if it's something you want to participate in as well. I think translated books is really important, so I always take part in this. Yeah, and there's also 5 prompts for this. The first prompt is just to read a translated book. That is the general rule, and I recently got a book down on my Kindle, and it's called The Beast Player by Nahoko, what did I write here? Vihashki? I'm not sure, I can't read my own writing. I ran out of space, so I can't read my own like scribbles. And it's translated from Japanese into English. And so the cover intrigued me. I think it's YA fantasy, but it also could be middle grade. I looked at the cover and thought it was middle grade, but I think the Goodreads page says YA, so I'll have to see what is actually the truth. The second prompt is read a book with more than one translation to the same language. Oh my god, I got a shock. Oh my god. The wind took my bedroom door, and there's no one else in the house than me, so I just got completely confused about the fact that the door opened. Woo, spooky. Anyway, let's get on with this. Read a book with more than one translation to the same language. I had to think a little over this one, but I thought, I mean, classics is the obvious answer, but I didn't really have a classic at hand that was translated. So I went and looked at my masterworks. I have Monday Starts on Saturday by Arkady and Boris Strugatsky. This is translated from Russian, I believe, into English, and there are multiple English editions with different translators, so I figured this would count for that. The third prompt is read a book with a green cover, and for that one I decided to go with the second book in this Duftapoteket, which is a book written in German and translated into Danish. This one is called, I think, The Riddle-Filled Black Flower, but it's definitely has a lot of green on the cover, so I figured it would work for this. And I really need to get to it because this is the second time I have it out from the library. I just renewed the loan, so I have it for this month as well, and I will read it for Translateathon. It's also pretty quick, so the font is relatively large, it's middle grade, so I think I'm going to get through it pretty quickly. Which I don't think is the same case with that Categorically book. So those are the 3 physical books. I need something that's not physical now. Anyway, the 4th prompt is nonfiction. Someone texted me. The 4th book is nonfiction, which was difficult for me. But I went with a book that's translated from English to Danish, because nonfiction already like a difficult topic for me, and I decided to go with Astrofysik for travle mennesker, or astrophysics for busy people. I think that's what it's called. I forgot the author's name because I didn't write it down, but this is a relatively short audio, and that's why I went with it. I could definitely get through that. And then I haven't found anything for the last prompt yet, but it's a read a book from your favorite genre. The reason for me not having found anything yet is because I want to read an urban fantasy audio that's translated into English or something like that, but I haven't found anything. So that's actually my reason for not having found anything, because I could read a manga. I could read a Fullmetal Alchemist manga, or something like that, because fantasy is my favorite genre too. But if I'm honest, I want to read an urban fantasy because, like, yeah. But if not, I will find some fantasy and read that. I haven't decided on it yet. If you have some suggestions, leave them down below. I'll be curious. But it should be something that has an audio that's not too long. Because I can't add more physical pages in, I don't think. Even though it's 2 weeks, I don't want to put too much pressure on myself. Other than these 2 readathons, I don't have a lot of plans, so my audio is pretty much up for randomness over the next coming weeks. I do have 2 audios that I want to work on. The first one is this next Discworld book, Making Money, by Terry Pratchett. This is the next one that follows Moist van Lipwyk. Stop texting me, please. And the other one I started on already, and that is The Tommyknockers by Stephen King. I am, I think, about 25% into it. So those are the audios, and then I am currently working on finishing up the Harry Potter series again for the last time. I am about close to the halfway point. So those are the couple of things that I want to do in June, and then I want to try and see if I have anything extra. I'll try and catch up on some things that I haven't managed to read for the last couple of months. My May was terrible, so I just want to try and read as many books that makes me happy this month. So I don't want to put too much pressure on myself and just find my reading groove in a different way. Anyway, this is everything I had for you today. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next video very, very soon. Goodbye!